press record. Take my glasses off. Yeah, so good morning everybody, and if you're joining us later with this on the video, good morning too, or good afternoon or good evening, whatever time you're doing this. If you're just joining us on the video, we have just been having a chat about everything that is happening in the world right now, and I think that we as in a yoga process, we can't just ignore that. Whatever you believe, whatever your take on it all is, that's absolutely a complete personal thing. But there is definitely a little bit of darkness right now, and it is so important to be aware of what's happening, but not to get too caught up in it. So to be aware of exactly what's going on from your perspective and how you feel as a person, but to also to continuously find the light. And that's where yoga really comes into its strength right here, because the word yoga, the word union, is about us coming together and finding the light together. And I know some of you are religious in other forms, and there's lots of differences of perspectives out there and belief systems, and that is wonderful. That is what it's all about. It's all about a connection through love and a connection through togetherness. And I don't think there's ever been a time in our history that we need it more than right now. So I'd like that to be the intent of this class. Although this class is really a strong technique class, I'd like that to be our intent. So let's just take that into within right now. Close your eyes, lengthen your spine, close your eyes, place your hands onto your knees, and just start with some really deep breaths in through the nose and an outward sigh. And keep following that. In breath as deep as possible. And a big outward sigh of release. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Keeping your eyes closed. Find some time for contemplation of what we're just talking about. A contemplation on togetherness, on connectiveness, on love, for whatever your perception is, whatever your belief system is, whatever your religion is, your spirituality. It is, and it has to be right now, about togetherness and not division. I do believe that we are moving through to a phenomenal phase of consciousness and awareness, and we needed to do this right now. We really needed to move into a better world and a better earth. Keep that in your mind as you're practicing today. Keep that in your mind as you're moving through and learning or going through things that maybe you already know, and practicing how your body feels in the wonderful opening of yoga. Remembering that we're opening our bodies and strengthening our bodies to connect to our mind, to our physicality, to our breath, and to our prana, to our life force. Just exactly what you need right now to internalize and to energetically create a life force that is stronger than the one before. Slowly open your eyes. Take your hand out to the right side, and let's just take a nice side bend stretch. Inhale through the middle and exhale through to the other side. Come through to the center. Place the hands on the small of your back and just let your body fall forwards. Maybe it doesn't go too far. Maybe you feel stiff in your lumbar spine. Wherever feels nice, you stop there. And then bring your spine, your chest back up. Fingers turn inwards towards your bottom, because then we can feel this opening of the chest. So starting with the chest, pull the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up your chest, and then if you feel happy with your neck at the moment, let the head go back and open your throat. And I really want you to concentrate and imagine you can see any stress, any fear, any negativity leaving your throat right now. Leaving the throat chakra, opening the heart chakra to embrace this awareness of consciousness, awareness of light. And then slowly, slowly bring your head back. Let your body round. Make a big circle with the arms and stretch into the upper back. For those of you who joined us, we are going to work on technique today. Lots of technique. Just want you to swivel onto your knees, hands and knees, hands beneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. And just to wake up the core, let's lengthen out with one leg and the opposite arm, doesn't matter which. Hold it here for a few seconds, breathing into the body. Really feel the breath connecting now with the muscles of the body. Just breathing in through the nose, out through either the nose, following Ujjayi breath, or out through the mouth. And then slowly change sides. Take your time. Lengthen, be kind, and be strong at the same time. I think that's really key at the moment. Be kind, but also time to find inner strength. And then come back. And let's do cow and cat, waking up a little bit more with the lower spine, and then right into the upper back here as well. Pronate, push into your hands. So let's move through these. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat, and really arch your back. Squeeze your abdominals there. Inhale. Make it very active rather than very passive. Make it very active. You're pushing into your hands. You're waking up your arms and your shoulders. And then here, you're really lengthening out through the buttocks and the hamstrings. So I'm going to talk to you about that today when we're in postures, about the fact that certain muscles are in a flexibility, in a stretching motion when we're doing postures. Certain muscles are being strengthened, and certain muscles are stretching whilst working. So there's so much going on. Last one, into cat, and then tuck your toes, and just lift up to bear pose, just hovering here. Take your spine to a flat back now, so push your bottom out a little bit more, lengthen your spine to flat back. Holding, waking up the core. If it's too much, take a little rest. Concentrate on your breath. And push your fingertips into the floor here. Really use your fingertips as well as the heels of your hands. From here, lift up. And then come to a very soft, easy down dog. Play with the legs. The feet should be hip width. We will go through down dog and what it means and how to do it for the most benefits. And that's what we're talking about today. Not necessarily how to get it right, but how to do it in the way that it was designed for your body to get the most benefits out of the posture. Okay, very slowly walk your feet in. You may need to bend your knees a lot here because we're just waking up the hamstrings. Hold the elbows, cradle the head, and move side to side. Very gently twisting, massaging the internal organs, compressing the abdomen in this forward fold, but also waking up through the side waist of the spine. Release your hands. Place them onto your shins and lengthen out through the spine. Feel the connection to your abdominals here, so rather than letting them relax, making sure that they're pulled inwards and upwards into your body internally. Now I've got my legs straight, maybe you have your legs more bent. Soften again, forward fold. And then rise up, open your arms. And hold this extended mountain with your feet apart. Slide the shoulders down. So immediately what you want to do is lift up, but slide the shoulders down and look up towards your hands. Engage your abdominals again, slightly tuck your tailbone and feel really strong in the legs. And then open your arms out to the side and come back. And then move towards the top of the mat. Stand at the top of the mat with your feet together. So let me just turn and face you. You're going to be standing at the top of the mat. I want you to have your big toes touching, your heels touching, if you can. If you can't, open your heels a little bit. Then we need to work through the abdominal area and the pelvis area. So I slightly tuck my bottom under because I have this sticky out back. Maybe you're the opposite, so maybe you need to bring yourself back to center line. But we need to be very central in this line here. Dig your feet into the earth. This is mountain pose. This has a purpose. It's not just standing up. This has a purpose. Get the legs starting to be engaged by pushing the feet into the floor. And then lift your kneecaps. Lifting your kneecaps is key in yoga. Lift your kneecaps up, which does not mean you have to lock your legs back. Very different. Lift your kneecaps up. This engages the quadricep muscle, puts strength and support into the legs, but you don't have to push your legs back. There's always a mini bend, tiny bend. Apart from Bikram. Bikram pushes back, but everyone else has this little bit of safety going on. Pull the tummy button inwards and upwards, internally pulling up. Open the chest and now drive the shoulders down again. Beautiful mountain pose. So whether it's extended with your arms in the air or it's here, then as strong as you can. Take a lift, take an inhale and stretch. Be very aware of your shoulders here. My shoulders always want to lift up. I'm so used to doing handstands. But here, we want them to drive down, hold down with the shoulder blades, tuck, and really feel the length going from the fingertips to the toes. Good. Take an inhale. Take an exhale, open and swan dive. Bend your knees as much as you can. It's a beautiful flat back. Bend your knees, tuck your chin in, and look to the tip of your nose. This is a forward fold, compressing the abdomen here, lengthening and opening the backs of the legs. Now bend your knees as much as you need to get your chest on your thighs. Come to tabletop, straight position, really further opening the backs of the legs down to the backs of the knees and all the tendon ligaments around there, the calf muscles. Be very aware of your feet here. Dig into the earth and tilt the pelvis backwards and upwards. Place your hands on the floor in front of your feet, bend your knees, walk gently back to plank. Now let's work on plank. Shoulders above wrists is a must. So you really must be right there with your shoulders above your wrists. Pull your shoulders back, zip the abdominals in and tuck your tail slightly. That's key as well. Also be aware that you're not dipping or lifting. We're here in that flat body plank. Pop your knees down, release your toes, and let your body come down for our first chaturanga. Elbows in. See how my elbows pull back? Yeah, my chest goes forwards, elbows pull back, and then elbows are going to be stacking over wrists, chest in front. Push up from that, go back up. Let's do a few more of these. So you should have your wrists and shoulders in alignment when you begin. Go down. You'll find that your chest and your chin go a little bit forward, chest in line with the hands, maybe slightly forward, chin forward. Push back up. Let's do that again. Drop down. Push back up. This one will stay down. And let's make it a cobra for the first time. Roll your shoulders back. Gently, gently push your hands into the floor, but use the shoulder blades and the back muscles to help you lift. So it's a small lift, engaging of the back. Tuck your toes, use your knees, lift up and over and into our down dog. Let's check the down dog. Now, if we were in the real world again and I was adjusting you, I would be standing somewhere near your fingers, facing your back, and I'd be lifting your tailbone up and putting my weight onto you. And the reason I do that is because I want you to lengthen your spine as much as possible. So imagine I'm there and I'm pushing my hands upwards and backwards onto your sacrum, upwards and backwards. Opening Muladhara chakra, which we were talking about last week. Now the heels do not have to be on the floor. If you're very flexible, they will be, but most people's heels are off. The knees are also bent because that enables you to lift the tail more. Really bend the knees and lift and tilt your pelvis upwards to shine your sacrum light to the sky. Good. The next time we come back to down dog, we'll talk about the arms. But for now, bend your knees, step forwards, bring your feet together. Inhale to tabletop. We won't stop here. You know how it looks and feels. Exhale and fold. Inhale and rise. Exhale. Inhale. Mountain pose. Are you digging your feet in? Have you got your shoulder blades down, extended mountain? Dive. Lie your chest on your thighs, tuck your chin. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk back. We're not going to stop in plank. If you can do a full chaturanga without the knees, do that now. If not, put the knees down. Elbows in, chest forwards. Then a little movement with your toes. You're going to let your toes release, point your toes, and this is so important. Let's stay here. Now, I haven't got the best back bend in the world at all. It is my nemesis for definite. But what you're focusing on is pushing into your hands. Open your chest. Project your chest through an imaginary gate that is your shoulders. Roll your head back and look up. From here, roll over the toes or use your knees again and tuck and come into down dog. So sometimes we're going to be staying, sometimes we're going to be moving. So do the tilt of the pelvis, find the length in the spine for every single vertebra to play with space. You want each vertebra to be laughing because it's got so much space from the other vertebra. It's like, woohoo! We never had this much space. She's always sitting down, and now look, it's so long and lovely. So let it feel like that. And then look at your hands. You want about shoulder width or a little bit wider, and you want stars. Star hands. Every finger as a ray of light from your star, opening up and pressing. Roll the triceps down and in. So you're rotating internally, so you're pulling them in, and then the inner arms coming through towards each other and pushing out. Shining those inner arms inwards and upwards. Good. From here, bend your knees. There's always a softness here. So you can take a light step. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Again, rise up. You should be feeling warmer now. As we start to flow, so you start to look at your own body. Inhale, lengthen. Look at your own body and how you're feeling whilst you're doing these moves. Exhale, straight down chaturanga. Remember, use your knees. Yep, you need to. Straight down with your chaturanga. The shoulders pulled back, the chest is open. And then up to up dog. If you've got any back issues, please stay down in cobra. That's absolutely fine. If you're up and up dog, you may be able to lift your thighs off the ground. If you can, that's great. If not, keep those knees down. Then up over. I'm going to roll over my toes to give them a beautiful stretch and into my down dog again. So how straight is your spine? Yeah, my spine is quite pronounced in the muscles here. So I have to bend my knees a little bit and tilt my tailbone up more to get my spine to be flatter. So you might be the same, you might be a bit rounded. So if I was adjusting you, I would tell you to bend your knees and tilt and lift up. Last breath. Bend the knees, walk in, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Let's move. We're just taking Surya Namaskara A and B, and we're moving through them because they're the best way to discover what's happening with your body and to warm you up. Let's do chair pose and hold it here. Now, a lot of people do chair pose with their palms together. That's great, but you really have to be able to relax your shoulders. And if you can't, which a lot of people can't because they're really tight, then you need to pull back and open your arms. That is going to give you so much more space here in the neck, which is everything we want, because we want this prana to move up the body, and through the neck, and boom, lighten up your life. In your mind, lighten up your life. So we need to enable that. Space is necessary, not tightness. Space here. So feel that. We'll talk about the legs next time. Let's tilt over into our forward fold. Bent legs. Into our Uttanasana, Adha Uttanasana, halfway. Hands on the floor, walk back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Knees down or knees off. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, up dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. And this time we're not going to stop. Now, lots happens in this process to get towards a beautiful warrior one. First thing is you've got to enable this right leg to step between the hands. If you're not so flexible yet in your life, maybe you want to step out and pull it in. However you get there, it doesn't matter as long as you get there. Drop your back heel out, turn it to the side diagonally. Pull the right hip in on itself. Try not to stick it out. Pull it in and then rise up. And again, keep your arms open if you know that your shoulders are tight. Main things about warrior one. Front knee over front ankle. Yeah, and the hips. The hips are key to this. What we're trying to do is pull the right hip back, tilt the pelvis under, and bring the left hip forward. It may not come all the way forward, but that's what we're trying to do. So imagine it looks like this. Pull the right hip back, put the left hip forward. We'll talk about this more in a second. Hands down, step back, knees or toes, Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left leg. So step the leg forward however you can. In some classes, they lift the leg up to three-legged dog first. So you can do that if you wish, because this is not Ashtanga. Ashtanga has certain rules. But let's take all the rules away and do whatever feels good. Now again, everybody needs to come central. But I immediately took my tail because I know again that I have this arch in my lower back. You maybe don't need to tuck your tail as much as me. Back leg straight, front knee over ankle. Can we get there? Yeah. And you should feel this wonderful hip flexor opening. This right here, this is key, guys. If this is tight, which it is in a lot of people, in a lot of postures, you can have knee issues and you can have lower back issues. So this warrior one is beautiful for opening here. Okay, let's go down. There's so much to talk about warrior one. Step back. All the warriors. Chaturanga Dandasana. Okay, opening the chest is more important than the back bend. Open your chest. Highlight this chest. That's it. Over to down dog. Hold your down dog. Bend your knees, tilt your pelvis, and see if you can get more lift. Now imagine, as I do it again when I'm adjusting you, that I'm gently standing on your fingertips. And I'm lifting your back up so much so that your arms become so long. Your arms become so long, and then slide your shoulder blades up your back. Look to your hands, bend your knees, walk in. Bring your feet together, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to go back to chair pose and focus on the legs. Squeeze the knees together. Look down and you'll see a V between your knees, your lovely little natural V. It's like a window. And it's a window for your big toes and your second toes. And if you can't see your toes, then you know that you've got your knees too far forward. So pull back, sit down, lift your arms. The other thing that happens is that people stick the bottom out, like will be natural for me, and arch and put pressure here. It's not the time to put pressure there. It's the time to tilt the pelvis and really feel you're dropping into this. Drop into it. See if we can go a little bit lower. A little bit lower. A little bit lower. Keeping the big toes in view. Can you still see them? Good. Stand up. And either go arms out or you can go through namaste. Now we're going to do that a bit more flowing. I might stop you one more time. Inhale. Take a chair pose. Look up if you can. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. And if you want to jump, exhale, jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. One exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let's take this right leg forward. I always set my left foot first at the back, and then I step forward. But my flexibility isn't an issue, so if it is, don't worry about that. Into warrior one. Hold warrior one. Now let's stay here a little bit longer. What else can we correct here? We can think about our rib cage. So is the rib cage sticking out? Are you arching your back here? I see that a lot. And I will go around and just gently ask people to tilt the pelvis more, to pull the rib cage in, and to find length through the spine, not shortening and arching. Put your hands down. Step back. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Left leg. I'm going to set the right. Exactly where it's going to be. Step the left leg forward. Rise up. Immediately tilt my pelvis. Pull my rib cage in. Engage my abdominals as always. Slide my shoulder blades down. Push into the back foot as much as I'm pushing into the front foot. Bring my left hip back and my right hip forward. See how there's so much to do. Hands down. Step back. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Shavasana. Stay right here. So now you should have the most beautiful feeling down dog. This is a partial inversion, which means that you get some anti-aging effects. Partial inversion down dog. Tuck in the chin. So closing off the throat chakra now and taking yourself internally towards lovely, lovely warmth and light. The spine is getting space for the nerve endings to spread out and to work properly. So much goodness in down dog. Look to your hands, bend your knees, walk or jump in. Lengthen your spine. Fold forwards. Take your final chair pose and stop. So let's correct it. If anyone says to you in any class, do chair pose. Sink in, tuck your tail slightly, drive your sacrum down. Check your gap between your knees. Lift and open your rib cage, but then bring it in together so you're not flaring it. Shoulder blades down and look up if you can. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms together. and come down. So they're just the Surya Namaskaras. Let's move to some leg strengthening, shall we? I'm going to step my right leg back to turn to face you, and I'm going to turn my right foot out to triangle. So right leg leads triangle. I would say in all my experience of teaching that triangle is one of the exercises that I feel is not done completely correctly. And remember, that doesn't mean that people are wrong for doing it differently. It just means you're not getting what it's supposed to be about. What's it supposed to be about? Lengthening. So come with me. The feet want to be the width of one of your legs if you chopped it off and put it on the floor. So imagine you just did that. Have a look. You can yes, that's about right for me. Yep. Left foot turned in, not out. Right foot turned out, arms long. Shoulders down. Shoulders down. Remember, space for prana. Space for light to lift. So all you need is clarity. Shoulders down. Lengthen. Imagine someone's pulling you and you're like, no, I can't come. I'm stuck. You're stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. But they're like, come on, I'm going to pull your fingers. And you're like, no, I'm stuck. My legs won't go anywhere. Nothing will change. And now have this straight line, this completely straight line here. There's no curves. There's no tipping forwards. It's here. Are you there with me? Now, all I want you to do is this. Take your hand down and let it drop where you find it. You shouldn't have changed anything. You should still have this length. This hip bone, poof, out that way. This shoulder, poof, out that way. Nothing's changed. I've still got this straight line as much as I can underneath my body. I mean, I can even do more. I can do more. I can tilt more. I can tilt more. I can tilt more. And look how beautiful that line is, that triangle line. Come on up. So I'll show you what I often see in class. I often see people going lower, like this, look, and leaning forward and their chest is facing the floor. So I go around, pull them up until they're straight. So find your straight again. Reach, 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 reach. Dig your feet into the ground and tilt. And lift up. Look up if you can, because these standing strengths are not just about strength, they're about balance. So it's how hard is this to hold this, to feel like you're not going to fall forward or back. It's about balance too. Now let's think about the muscles that are happening, what's happening in your legs. Your core muscles, your back muscles are working isometrically to hold you here. They're like, yep, we need to stabilize this, she's going to fall. So they're really working hard. Come on up, let's go again. Go back to the right side. You're going to go further this time. Reach, because you're more flexible. Reach, 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 reach. And come down. Now see how I'm touching my foot. You might not be. You may be much better off staying up on the shin. Lengthening, lengthening. And now I want you to think about the legs. You are part of the standing strength team in triangle. That means this is strength. Push your feet into the floor. The other thing I would do is I would put my hand on someone's hip bone and I would pull them back so that their hip is not turning down. So grab your own hip bone and pull it back, pull it back, pull it back, and lengthen at the same time, and lengthen, and then let your hand release. Yeah, hello. Now it's starting to work. Turn to the other side. Hips face the long edge of the mat. Reach, reach, reach. Soften the knees slightly, don't lock, but then they're still so strong and so straight that you are a triangle. There's no curve. Dig your feet into the ground. As you do, tuck your tailbone under. Push the hips towards an imaginary wall in front of you. Push, 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 tuck, lengthen, lengthen. Feel it. Feel every single muscle in the legs, the core, the side body, strengthening and stretching. Good. Come on up. Turn your feet and now face the back. Good. That was Trikonasana. That was Utthita Trikonasana. This is Parivrtta Trikonasana. Square your hip bones. Face the back. Dig the feet into the floor. Lift the kneecaps. Remember we were talking about the kneecaps? Lift the kneecaps. Engage the muscles of the thighs. Tip forward. tip forward, stop. Wherever your body is straight and you have straight legs, straight spine, elevated spine, that's your max. Maybe you're further than me, maybe you're here and you can still be straight and you're not curving. Wherever you are, reach the opposite hand forwards and then all you do is rotate. Now this is important. No curving. From here, rotate. Just turn. Nothing changes. The legs haven't changed. The spine hasn't changed. The abdominals are still working. Maybe you managed to get to your hand on your shin. Maybe you managed to get to your hand towards your ankle. Maybe advanced level, you're down on the floor. But you need to be able to keep the same position you just did. To come out of it, she says, falling over, windmill your arm up, turn your body to the other side. Dig your feet in. See how my back foot is still on the diagonal. Turn your hips face forward, both hip bones. Lengthen. Stick your bottom out. Open. Lengthen. Stop wherever you get the most hamstring stretch you can manage and you keep your back straight. Lengthen your opposite arm. Try not to let your hip go back. Keep your hip pulling forward, 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 forward. And twist. And twist. So do you feel that the trunk of the body is moving around to the side? The trunk. The trunk. Everything else has remained the same. Windmill up. Second time is always easier. Second time, the techniques, the alignment start to sit with you. Hips face forward. Reach forward. Pull back with the right hip. Pull forward with the left. Twist. Twist. Are you compromising your spinal alignment in this twist? Or are you staying true to the straightness of your back? Are you staying true to your hip position? Or did you pull your hip back too far or forward? Keep breathing deep into it. You should be feeling every muscle in the legs. Hamstrings getting a big workout here. Come twist. Hip straight. Tip, 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 tip. And then twist. And hold. Really hold. So see how I'm not going so low? I want you to see how important it is to keep everything in alignment first. Now I can feel already there that my hip has twisted a little bit. So I'm going to realign it. I'm going to dig my feet in. I'm going to lengthen out more through my abdominals and find the twist. Twists are phenomenal for your digestion. Lift up. So they're not just working on your back. Come out of it. Give yourself a big shake. Every time you twist, you're massaging your internal organs. So any constipation issues, any digestion issues, twisting is what you need to do. Oh, feel your legs? That was Trikonasana. Big step. Much wider, much wider. Now, and if you're really tall, you're going to be using nearly all of your yoga mat. I'm not really tall, and look how close I am to the edges. Come into this position. That's all I want you to do first. Come into this position. Warrior 2, we're going to work on. Knee stacks above ankle. I often see pictures, you know, like these promotion advertisements of this like lovely looking lady in this Warrior 2 that looks like this, or this, or this, or this. And I'm like, right, Warrior 2, bend this leg until it's at 90 degrees. Put your fingertips on your hip bones and mobilize your hips until they are in a straight line, boom, shooting out there. So if you have 2 lasers here, it's going to go straight out or even slightly open, not at all closed. Can you feel that? Now open your arms, shoulder height, shoulder height. Tuck your back foot in, bend your knees a little bit more. Nothing better than feeling courageous, brave, ready to take on the world than a Warrior 2. Your eye gaze officially for a Warrior 2 should be the middle finger of this front hand. Now you'll find that your body wants to do this. Woo! Not allowed. Come on. We'll talk more about different techniques on the other side, but let's just feel this for now. Feel these hips opening right here. Can you feel it? Okay, lift up. Switch it. Turn your left foot. Open up more and dig. If you can't get your knee over your ankle, because you're starting to look like this, you're not wide enough. Wide, 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 sink down. Now bring the hips back. Bring it back. Bring the hips back. Bring it back. So you're going to pull this hip back. And again, when I'm working with people, I'll put me on my knees behind them, and I'll be using my hands to manipulate their body round. And if this hip is tight, it wants to turn that way. But it's not allowed. It's got to go the opposite way. So open your arms. Sink in. How does that feel? Strong. Now, another thing that happens a lot is people lean. Pull back, shoulders above hip bones. Sink in. Breathe. Sink in. You should be feeling these inner thighs here are on strength, isometric strength and stretch. Yeah, now feel the back buttock. Come up. Oh, if you need to take a little in shake, do so. Whatever you need to do. We're going back to the right. I'm feeling these inner thighs now. Go straight into it. How do you check yourself? Shoulders, hips, hip alignment, lasers. Yeah. Now listen. Tuck your tail under. From the back, tuck it under. Sink more. The sacrum light shines down. The hip lights shine out. You are so strong here. Rib cage not flaring. Rib cage pulling in. Come on, deepen. Deepen. Hold it. Look to the middle finger of the right hand. Slide your shoulders down. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Release. So this is your final chance to do all your checks that you've learned or you already knew, but or you reminded of. Turn your toes out. Deepen. Pull back. Come on. Come on, legs. I know what it feels like. Come on. Tuck your tail. So when you tuck your tail under here and you open this big thigh muscle backwards, rotate it. Again, another thing I will do is grab people's thighs and roll them round so they feel what it's like. Open out here. What you feel is this engaging of your back buttock. Come on, lower. Lower, I'm going to let you have a shake. I'm going to let you, see how I'm adjusting. I can see I was a little bit out of center there. Come back. Woo! Okay. Have a shake. There you go. Standing strength technique is not easy. We're going back to Pajvakonasana. Uttita Pajvakonasana. Hips are open. All we're going to change is this. Come find this with me. Come find this. I didn't curve. I didn't push back again. I didn't realign my legs. All I did was find Warrior 2 and went like this. Are you there with me? Put your elbow down. Don't change this position. Remember, it's the same as triangle, but you're lengthening on your underneath rib cage. You're not closing or bending. You're opening your chest. Now, lift your arm, look up, and I want you to pull your top rib cage around as if it was going to try and face the sky. As if it was going to try and face the sky. Good. Take this top hand, reach it over a bit. Now again, so something I would do here would I would come behind you, I would press your hips underneath, and I would open your top rib cage so that you are looking up to the palm of your hand. This is your drishti. Look up to the palm of your hand. Good, release. These inner thighs are going to be screaming at you tomorrow. Turn, bend the left, sink in, open your arms, reach. The length is there, the length is there. I'm still opening my back hip around. I'm still turning my body to face the side. Place the elbow down, put the arm up, and pull your rib cage open. Look up, palm of the hand. Sink deeper. Let your hips drop lower. Look up to the palm of the hand. I'm opening my armpit to the sky, not to the floor, to the sky. Good, stand up. Let's go again. Take a rest, take a shake, anytime. Take a shake, take a shake. Take a shake. Come through. Open. Reach. Elbow down. Find your position. Now some of you yogis, maybe you're like, yeah, I want to go further. I'm going to put my fingertips down. Only do that, and I know a lot of you can. Only do it if you haven't leant forward like this to do it. If you haven't changed anything about what we just set up. So if you're here, you can try not change a thing, get your fingertips down. Keep looking up and opening your rib cage. Keep tucking your tail underneath and through. Keep opening your armpit. Some of you might get your hand fully down, but not if your spine is not still long. Sweep your arm through, it can go under. That feels a lot nicer. Switch. Last one. Here. Find. Extended. Pajvakonasana. Tuck your tail. So we went from Virabhadrasana B, which is Warrior 2, to Pajvakonasana, which is here. And then if you can, come down. So which muscles are working? What do you feel? In the thighs, on this bottom leg? Yeah? You know what you'll feel a lot? Where you're tight. So wherever you're tight, even though that might not be the key muscles working, that's where you're going to feel. Sweep under. Come up, shake your legs. Woo! Good stuff. We're going to twist it. Oh, we're going to twist it. Parivrtta Pajvakonasana. Now, do you remember triangle, how we turned the hips? Let's do the same, hey? In fact, let's drop our back knee. Everybody come to here. Front knee over ankle, both hips facing the front. Both hips facing the front. Put your hands on your front leg, tuck your back toes, lift up. Now listen, keep your hips where they are, near enough, near enough. Put your back foot flat on the diagonal. I've now put my back heel down, not in crescent lunge, I'm actually in Warrior 1. Yeah? Virabhadrasana A. So we did this in the warm-up. Keep going. I just want to show you something. Just listen up. This back hip always sticks out in class when I see people. Pull the hip in, pull the hip in, pull the hip in. Tuck it down and in. Bring it down and in like you're trying to pull these buttocks round into each other. So bring that hip down and in. Bring the other hip forwards. Lift your arms. We already know Warrior 1. So let's bring your palms together to the chest and put your left elbow onto your right knee if you've got your right knee forward. Twist and hold. Just stay there because something popped on my screen and I can't see. There we go. So let me show you from this way angle. Left elbow, palms. My elbows are in a straight line. Again, what wants to happen is this. Foot out. You're going to pull it in. You're going to drive this knee over the ankle. You're going to extend your back outside foot away from you to lengthen your leg. Lovely. Open, twist, turn the other way. Drop your knee for me. Dropping the knee helps you find the hip alignment. Hips near enough facing forward. There can be a slight turn out with the back hip, but near enough facing forwards. You can also do a little bit of a cheat when you stand up by stepping your back leg out to the side a bit more if you need to. Back outside edge of the foot pushes away. Tilt underneath and bring the back hip round. Tuck this front hip in. Tuck it in. And then palms together. elbow down, twist. And next time we do this, we'll talk about the spine. But for now, concentrate on the legs. Bend the left knee, push the right leg back, and feel the strength in your legs. Can you feel that the right hip wants to go away from you? You've got to pull it round. You've got to keep it facing the front, and then you've got to bend that knee again and drop, 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 drop. Lovely. Open up. Shake if you need to. Turn round. Back foot down. This time, go straight into it. Let's talk about the upper body. So, we know what we're doing with the legs. Can you push your left elbow into your right leg? Can you push the palms together to create this maximum energy between the palms? And that will lift your spine and it will lift your chest off your leg. There's no relaxing here. Push your back leg away, tuck your hip in. Push the palms together, lift off. And eventually your drishti looks up. Yeah. Oh, up we go. Last one here. You're doing great. I told you it might hurt a bit. Great for the legs. Come through. Bring the back hip around. Bend the front leg. Tilt your pelvis. Work on your hips. Push your back leg away. And then go. Palms. Elbow down. Yeah, lovely. So even though you might be a true yogi and do lots and lots of yoga, there's always something that maybe you need to correct, bad habits that we all get into, that we forget about. So we're learning new things, and maybe you're new to all of this and you're like, wow, there's so much. Okay, come out. Oh, come and release. How does that feel? So did you feel rooted into the ground on those Prajnakonasanas, those Trikonasanas, but also rooted into the ground, challenging your balance, challenging your spine. Let's go to tree pose. Let's take some serenity with balance. Turn your right knee out. Slide your foot either to calf, yep, or hitch it, lift it, and put it on the inside. Do check that your hip bones are even here. So put your hands on your hip bones, have a good feel, they're yours. Say hello to them. They do a lot of work every day without you even saying thanks. So put your hands on, give them a little massage. Check that both hip bones are facing forward and they're even. They're not hitched. Yeah, one hip bone in line with the other. Can you get your knee to fully point to the side? Bring your palms together at your chest. And what helps here, she says, wobbling all over, what helps is if you push your foot into your thigh and you push your thigh into your foot. These are dual energies. Dual energies for stabilization. Standing leg, solid. A little bit of a softness at the standing knee. Shoulders relaxed. Lift your arms up above your head if you can. If not, stay in namaste. Arms up above your head. Shoulders down. Remember all of these positions, how soft it should feel in the shoulder area. How connected you should feel to the prana rising up and up. Tuck your tail a little bit. Draw your abdominal center in a little bit more. Feel the calm in your beautiful tree. If only they could speak. If only the trees could speak. There'd be so much to say. Palms together. Come back through. Slowly release your leg and change sides. Please keep popping up on my screen today. Go away. Go away, we're doing yoga. Okay, left leg. Oh. Not good side. Okay, fine, calm. So I'm pushing my foot against my thigh. I'm bringing this hip in, so it's not sticking out, it's not relaxed. Remember mountain pose. Mountain pose legs, the way we lifted the kneecaps, the same as we do in our down dogs, the same as we do in all of these positions. They are set to help you balance. These are strong mountain pose legs. So I can feel that my hips lifted a little bit on that side. I'm going to draw it down. And just that tiny change has made a big difference in the energy into my thigh. Lift the arms up. Tiny changes can make such a big difference. I'm also going to tilt my pelvis under a little bit again because I have sticky out bottom. So doing the opposite to what my body does every day can really help to get stretches in the areas that get tight because they are overworked. So it's not that I'm trying to change my posture forever. I'm just trying to give it a different kind of a feel by adjusting it when I'm in yoga and in Pilates. Hands back, come through, good, release, lovely. That was just a little interim for you from the standing strength. Bring your feet open. Let's do some forward folds. And let's do them very, very aware of our spine here. I want this to be your biggest focus right now. Okay, because this area is so important, full of nerve endings that connect to the organs that assist, full of reactions and activations. Hands on your hips, lengthen, pick up, pull your elbows back and give me this beautiful open chest. Let your head go back, throat chakra open. Breathe here. Push into your feet, but draw upwards and outwards with your chest. And then lengthen, tip over. Tip over. Stop where you can maintain a straight spine. Stop where you don't have to have straight legs. Your legs can be bent as much as you need to, but your back is straight. That might be here for you. That might be here for you. Wherever that is, stop. Let your hands find your legs, or advanced level find the floor. Flexible people find the floor. Again, the spine is straight. The legs are not. That is key. The legs are not straight. I want you to tilt the pelvis upwards like you did in down dog. Do you remember? Legs bent, tilt the pelvis. Legs bent, tilt the pelvis up. How much stretch are you getting there? Just from this tilt. Just from this tiny tilt upwards. What an amazing hamstring stretch, buttock stretch, glute stretch, calf stretch. Let your head fall, so you might be hands on your shins. Let your head fall, let your chin tuck. Close your throat chakra. Bend your knees even more and start to get your chest in line with your thighs. Now you might need to bend your knees more to keep your back straight. We're not going to curve the back. We're still tilting, we're still lengthening, but now we're bending the knees more to get the chest closer to the thighs. Now once you've got your maximum and your chest is close to your thighs, tilt your pelvis more without straightening your legs. Tilt up. What an amazing stretch. I feel it all the way down the outside of my ankles as well. That's because they're tight from many rollovers of ankles. Good. From here, lengthen. Bend your knees. Roll up through the spine. Take your hands behind you. Link your fingers. Open your chest. Tip over. Bend your knees, tilt your spine. Bend your knees, tilt your pelvis up. Bend your knees, keep your back straight. What I talk about in Prasarita Padottanasana, and this is Prasarita Padottanasana C, is the crown of the head driving down, lengthening out through the neck, and at the same time, shoulders pull back and away from the ears, hands go over, pelvis tilts up, knees are bent. So much going on. Imagine that your laser light has moved from your hips or your sacrum to the crown of your head, and you're shining your laser light down onto the floor. Shine it down, tuck the chin in, shine it down, tuck the chin in, take the arms further over and breathe. One more breath. Rise up, bend your knees, rise up. Release. So see how it was all about this area and not about the pull too much, all about opening the sacrum. Come to the top of your mat. Bring your feet together. One of my favorites. Vajrottanasana. Take your hands behind your back. And do you know why this is one of my favorites? Because it hurts me the most. And I need it the most because my shoulders get a lot of work. So have a look. Namaste on your back. And again, because of that, I am not going to show you the best example of this. Palms go up your back. Push your hands together. And maybe some of you are stuck at the base of your spine. That's all right. I get that. Some of you maybe are going all the way up between your shoulder blades and laughing at me. So I get to about here and I roll my palms to try and touch each other. So I'm rolling my palms in, rolling them in, rolling them in, rolling them in. And how do I do that? I open my chest more. Open your chest. Open your chest. Feel your chest opening. Close your elbows towards each other. Stand in mountain pose. Stand in mountain pose with your legs, lift your kneecaps, engage your thighs. Push your palms together and breathe. Tracy, you probably find this one as hard as I do. Tracy's shoulders are tight as well from all that dragon boat racing. Good. I'm going to ask you to slowly let them go. Ooh. Give them a shake and we're going back. We're doing a second round. Arms up. Sweep round. Palms are going together. Before I do that, check the time. How is it this time? I just realized what time it is. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Oh no, this is a 9 till 10 class. I'm going to finish it up. So we might have to do 2 parts to this, mightn't we? There's so much to learn. Hold this strong. Lots of standing to do. Push the palms together. If you can lift them a bit further. Oh, can you open the chest? Can you close the hands? Breathe. Slowly release. Slowly release. Oh, give them a shake. Give them a shake. Bring your feet together. Lift your arms. Oh, how's your arms feel right there? Mine feel tight. Over you go. Down into beautiful Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen higher or lower. Walk or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then listen, just drop to your knees. Switch it round. Come and visit Upavishta Konasana with me. But let's do one more nice seated stretch because I can't let you go without having a little bit of a seated stretch. This is the same as Prasarita Padottanasana, but now we're sitting down. Hands on your chins, back straight, must be straight, lean forward. Lean forward. Tilt the pelvis back. So imagine you're in that down dog, all this standing Prasarita Padottanasana. You can soften your knees a little bit, tilt the pelvis back. You won't go as far because you can't bend your knees a lot, which you did in the other one. So here you won't go as far, but it's all about lengthening. Lift up through the heart. Lift up through the heart. Tilt the pelvis back. Move forward. Lift up through the heart. Tilt the pelvis back. Stay if that's you. If you're used to this, maybe you hold your big toes and lean further. Maybe you hold your feet and lean further. Now, if I go too far, then I find that this curve in my spine starts to press upwards. So I lift up a little bit more and lengthen a little bit more. One more breath. Lift up. Come and bring your feet into Baddha Konasana. Wiggle around a bit, maybe rock side to side. Open your feet like a book. Open your knees. Pick up your heart, pull your shoulders back. Close your eyes. Let's revisit the love. Let's revisit the awareness. Let's be kind. We just learned how to be strong, courageous, brave in our warriors. Go back to the kindness, the softness. Open your eyes and let's take this into a gentle twist. One hand behind, the other hand around. And let's finish with a nice twist. And then move to the other side. Front body opening, front body rising. It feels a bit different when you're in Baddha Konasana to do a twist than it does with cross-legged. It's much more challenging. And then come back. Bring your legs in. Give yourself a beautiful forward fold hug. Easily make this class an hour and a half. There's so much to do always. But namaste to you all. It's gone too quick. Namaste to you all. I know you've all got lives. I'm happy to stay here all day, but I know you've all got lives to get on with. But thanks for joining me. I hope you learned some things there today. I know it's different to a flow, but it's nice to understand it. And I hope that reminded you of certain things. I definitely feel the legs.
Mm.
Thanks, team.